I had started my PhD program already, and when Katie told me about some of her interests in research, I talked to my advisor and I said, let's try to carve out a project that can be good and give some good experience here, both for me from a like high level management type perspective, and like I knew Katie would figure it out, and then she could teach me. So I felt like I could learn two things at once. And like she said, we gave her the project and she had it figured out within a week. Mind you, it's finals week. She had basketball. She had all this stuff going on. She had it figured out within a week. And I was highly impressed. So that's when we said, okay, let's find more projects. Let's keep working. And then we started talking about the landscaping industry. And we ended up getting a grant through the National Science Foundation, which I know we're going to talk about in a bit.
The first main point, and I want to recall this, was we found out that the unpredictable and unreliable nature of the workforce. Like people show up sometimes and sometimes not. Well, we can go in depth into that more later on. But at the same time, we found out that there is unpredictable solutions to it right now. Like the current solutions are unpredictable too. So already landscaping is unpredictable with the fact that if it rains, you cannot cut. And then you're adding other more unpredictable things into it that is just pretty chaotic. So one of the solutions that is being proposed out there is the H-2B visa program. I don't know if I know a lot of people are aware of this program. It's basically they bring people to the U.S. from other countries for a season, and then they come back. They go back to their countries after the work is done for that season. But it is so unpredictable for very reasons. A lot of landscapers will say, "Well, right now the unemployment rates are so low that we cannot find people." And I was like, yeah, that completely makes sense. Nobody wants to do such a hard work. I don't blame them. And then as COVID hit, and we still talk with landscapers, we still ask them how their season went, they still say, even though unemployment rates went up high, like ever before, we still cannot find the workers. So we find out that a lot of people, our generation, prefer to be under AC conditions, working at a Wendy's, that is not seasonal in nature, that is not that hard in your body, even if they get paid less at a Wendy's, at a McDonald's, then a landscaper can even pay you double than that. But still, people, our generation, will not take it.
This guy's crazy. He made an 8-hour route, but we hit traffic, so he wants me to work 13 hours today. I had a PlayStation party with all my buddies that started at 5. This is BS. I don't want to do it. That's what happens. So if you put technology, which is what they want to leave the job for anyways, to go use technology in their hands at work, they don't feel like they're working. That's an important thing. Generations 50 years ago's dream job is different than this generation's dream job. And you made a comment, it's not even about pay sometimes, it's about what they're actually doing, so it's like you could take a job at Walmart selling TVs for $10 an hour and pass up the $16 or $18 an hour position with health insurance because at least you're talking about something you know about.
The second biggest thing that a lot of landscapers would mention is that I don't have a labor problem, but I want to grow my business. I want to increase my revenue. And we say, okay, well, what does that mean? They say, well, I can sell work all day long, but I don't have the people that are needed to fulfill that work. Well, we said, okay, well, if you don't have the people to fulfill the work, then that really means you have a labor challenge. And a lot of people don't think of it that way. But even if you don't have an immediate labor challenge, if you're trying to grow your business or you're trying to grow revenue and labor is the bottleneck, particularly if it's daily maintenance, then it may center back around how do you alleviate that challenge. We know the landscaping industry is extraordinarily fragmented. The top 50 companies make roughly 15% of the revenue. And an industry like that is wide open for a landscaping company that can leverage technology properly to grow their business.
Our company's at the size now where we had to identify, the acquisition cost to get an employee hired and trained up. And we've identified that's about $3,000 per employee, okay? And you just said by the time you give them the gear and the training and stuff like that. And what I think is ironic is when I tell somebody they can buy a robot for a few grand, okay, they're like, that's crazy, that's a lot of money. But really, when you think about it, we spend it already just to get an employee trained up And there's also almost zero loyalty in our industry to stay at a landscape company. So if you can find a landscaper, they'll typically leave for 10 cents an hour to go someplace else. So you'll train somebody up for $3,000 and they leave you anyways, which is something to talk about with automatic mowing also. Well, and it's important to add for people that don't understand robotics like we do. When a robot or an automatic piece of machinery encounters an issue, its program makes it stop. It just stops. So it's important to know when you guys are talking about your concept is, it sounds to me like your guys' thought process is, okay, so the person checks into the machine, uses the cameras that are around it, figures out what made the machine stop. And if it's a bird that flew past it, we know we can override that reset and let it move again. On the flip side, if there's a 5-year-old kid that thinks the machine's cool and keeps running circles around it, we leave that machine sit until the kid gets bored and walks away, and then you run again. I think that's right. That's the thought process.
Exactly it. That's spot on, Joe. Yep, absolutely. So folks that go onto the website at hirehenry.us, they'll see our fully functional prototype that's out cutting grass and all that good stuff. This upcoming season, we're coming out with a model that we're going to be conducting a pilot program with a select few of landscaping companies. This is a heavy-duty version of the prototype that you see on the website currently. Has all the necessary features that's going to bring the value that we've been talking about throughout the show. So that's our immediate goal, is focusing on this summer, focusing on our landscaping partners that's going to be testing our robotic lawnmower over the summer.